Hey Kiwi,
How's your war going? It'd be kind of easier if AI kind of took over the human job, eh? Because we obviously can't be trusted to manage yourselves. Or the elite, I mean. Can't be trusted. Yeah, no, we need a parasitic astral AI entity to manage the human psyche. There's, especially after that nuclear war. So, yes, James does like to talk. Yeah. These are an archive. Metadata. These are drawings up to, some of them fucking 1998, aren't they? So that long. You're nudging 30 years, but it's just a collection that I threw together for a public exhibition in the publicly in Te Manawa, which is the grand bastion of fine art of Palmerston North. These were the sort of open diary book, the Mad Gestalt, as part of my hyper objects of the Cthulhu scene. Yes, that's right, folks, Cthulhu scene. Anyway, these were the diary notes unpacking the creative approach to trauma, graphics, expression. And that funny little thing that we call art, which I sort of think is about it's not necessarily about decor. This is quite an interesting one. This really is about 30 years old. I came across a work of Carl Gustav Jung's in his Red book. And there's a sort of Masonic thing. There's a sort of esoteric kind of occulty, surreal, kind of naive painting Jung did of a sort of entity, sort of magician type fella in a chamber like amphitheatre like this. And now I had no idea of that when I drew this doodle. It's some emaciated, fucked up Pope looking Kiwi wife front. He's dropping coins. Money changes temple. You dig? You dig, Black? Yeah, so, this sort of symbolic, esoteric angle that I've always sort of thought about has always been there in a funny way. But it's symbolic and unconscious work as well. So that's sort of like what I think art is good for. Know thyself. But, what is the self? The ego is just a sort of construct of socialized programming. And so it goes. You've got this this one's a beaut. Buy a doodle, come to my opening. Yeah, rock on. Yeah, so it's pretty kind of low grade in a lot of ways, but you know, it might be even me enjoying myself with the problem of being a person from an abandoned working poor Christchurch family growing up that managed to abandon enough people in order to become lower middle class at one stage. Yeah, so is it class? Yeah, it's a little bit class, eh? It's a little bit class. Not saying it's more special than anyone else, except, you know, like, I have done it quite regularly for a while. But anyway, and I don't have to justify myself, this is my art. And it's not the tip top, it's just sort of honest notes from... I still do honest notes. They're just a little bit more... they're a little bit more like that at the moment. You know, I'm not so worried about it, you know? I lie, I worry all the fucking time. Don't know how to sort of work the fake culture, you know? Don't know how to do the... Yeah, that's quite interesting. Is that your mum or your dad? Who's that? Is that your grandma? Yeah, I think that was grandma and mum, actually, that person. Love that nurturing femininity. There she goes again. Not complaining about our mums or our grandmas. Holding the shit together, aren't they? Well, they had to, because all the men got butchered in the wars, didn't they? Bit of a theme there. I started talking about war. Yeah, so this is a kind of algorithmic freeze. I have shown it in many iterations a few times in galleries. I don't know, I just had a look at it lately because I've been having a bit of a crisis of identity, and I've had a lot of structural things in my body, pinched nerves and vertebrae that have slipped, and I'm pretty good at like fucking myself up actually. Some shit never comes right. I've been really blessed with help. You've got to be fairly blessed in order to get help. People have to hand you envelopes of money sometimes in order to get help, but nonetheless, sometimes you get lucky and the right person at the right time. And there's a Chilean man who used to be into Osho, and he's been helping me quite good. I like him. He's cracked my things. Nothing says intimacy more than a dude who could break your neck if he wanted to. It's kind and caring. I've got to do all these exercises for my fat guts. Which is good. Fat guts needs more exercises. Apparently I've been overcompensating my whole fucking life for not having any abs. And I've been sort of asking a few peers, you know, when you're in pain, you know, like, and it's sort of a chronic condition. And I am going to include art in that, you know, myopic lens. Pain, you know, call that depression, call that addiction, call that, you know, a fucked family, call that mental illness, call that fear, call that competition, call that bullying, call that abandonment, call that New Zealand, call that dumb folk, call that kindness. call that a childlike simplicity. Oh, look, hey, I'd sell you one of these if you want one. They have been priced at $350 each. In dealer galleries with commissions. So, but having said that, I sort of do like this as a frieze, you know, as a sort of document in itself. But yeah, I'm not, you know, like obviously, it's weird, I got them out because I was worried about how they were being crumpled in a thing out the back, and I really have not been able to do fucking anything for, I don't know, months. Palestine show, right? Disapproval, drama, sabotage from petty local galleries. You know, going against the consensus propaganda trance of Kiwi network news. Yeah. Yeah. My homemade military base. My DIY metaphysics. Sounds like I like myself, doesn't it? Yeah, these are tokens of sort of aspects of character and practice, you know. They're drawings. They can be what the fuck they want to be. Oh, yeah, look. Things don't need words, but, you know, we tend to put words on them. Yeah. I suppose what I could do if you're interested in getting one, or 17, is I could take photos of the ones I want to let go of and then make a folder of them, and so you can have a wee shop, and I could put the link underneath this video if you happen to see it. There's a lot of other people's stuff out there on the internet. I doubt you'll be interested, but nonetheless, I'm here, I'm special too, like you're special too. And this guy who does this obviously has some kind of arrested development. But permission, you know, and freedom within sort of some kind of assertion of a character. Yeah, nothing like sort of pain to degrade. Oh, I'm getting dumped by women. Nothing like that to degrade your self-esteem. But not sure if this kind of videography sort of helps. I don't think I'm being too untoward. Yeah, so if I was an art student and I saw one of my tutors, you know, big diary works, and, you know, like, because I'm that kind of age now, you see. That's me. I don't look too bad back then. How old was I then? I was in my 20s. I felt chronically fucking obese then, and I'm not actually too bad. It's quite cool, isn't it? I'm glad I got a photo of that. I did that at my own art school because I was broke. Couldn't do good drawings, but I could get attention by being that guy. Yeah. Oh, here's another one. So yeah, this is a music guy I had a show with, but that's me in the Invercargill Maternity Hospital. Yeah. I wonder what Banksy would think. Hi, Banksy. Yeah. Oh, hey, the music that's playing is a local Dunedin band called Omu, and I really like it. Yeah. So, God, I thought about talking to you again, and yeah, just fucking been glued to that war and that, and I just sort of figured that inner conflict that I try and sort of exercise in this manner sort of reflects the outer conflict, is staged and theatrical, as ritualistic as the outer conflict appears to be, with, real people being maimed by the Empire, people defending themselves, and New World Order might be fucking, slightly more ancient sovereign nations instead of the Epstein class of cannibal, pedophile, ritualistic slavers. But we don't want to go into politics too much in the art, James. Suffice to say that I've always had a bit of a trouble with being a British colony. Regimes and all that. I wonder what Tony Thomason's politics were. I wonder what Philip Claremont's politics were. I wonder what Philip Trustram's politics were. God bless Philip Trustram and his artwork. Philip has passed. He was a decent old school boomer. He gave me the time of day regularly. And he was a bloody good artist. This is the thing, like when we lose continuity with our own tradition, and I'm going to include, my character in that. This egalitarian, liberal folk. Obviously, I'm doing something completely different in my own way than Philip was, but if we just let the post-structural propaganda wing of software cultural inputs, if we just do as we're told and don't know ourselves, thank God for mental illness, otherwise we'd just all be abstract minimalists and hang our panties on the wall. Polycrisis. Not to say that art can accommodate everything. Of course it can. It's just that, a lot more to the human heart than just the friction between feelings and emotional baggage. Feelings and mind, programmed mind. I think that there is a divine spark to the human being. And in that way it returns back to the archaic and spiritual self-knowledge. So yeah, this metadata is sort of a big psych report of sorts. You can read it as you will. I don't know. I think it's fairly entertaining. It's also a big checkerboard. It's also a big sort of screwy 5D chess game. And I think that's sort of the world. I think that's the divide and the order ab chaos kind of techniques at play at the moment. So that's why I'm sort of doing a video. A bunch of different sides of yourself and little rectangles, aren't they? Little rectangles. That's what art is, my friends. Little rectangles. Alright, well, I've been rabbiting on about myself and art and stuff for quite a while. And I'm pleased to be doing so again. I'm sure I've damaged my career. Oh well. I could, mate just came around before and said I should make a book out of it. That's possible, especially if I own them. Different ways of drawing, you know what I mean? You know, you can get all doodly and trippy like that. With a satirical kind of, you know. And you can get sort of scribbly fine art sort of thing like that, or you know, gestural kind of. Yeah. Sort of looking at them again myself, really. But yeah, this is a sort of edited selection from a pile of books and whatnot. And no one's saying it's, I'm just saying it's, you know, James Robinson's interesting art. Like, you know, a guy like him that did it. That's all. It's showing you on the telly. Alright, God bless. Thanks for looking. Cheers. Getting better too, you know, exercise is getting better.